We're going to get started with this man, the former King of England, as we used to call him, Mark Sedwill. Now, many people will have forgotten who he is, but at one point he was head of the civil service, amongst other things. So let's just remind ourselves the kind of role that he had at this time, which is why we dubbed him the King of England and put him on the throne. That was, he was effectively in charge of Foreign Office, Ministry of Defence, Human Intelligence, Military Intelligence, DCHQ, and so on. This whole range of things, Joint Intelligence Committee, COBRA, all went into him as head of the Home Civil Service, National Security Advisor, and head of the Cabinet Office. He was basically in charge of everything. Now, he then went on, following leaving that role, to head up the Atlantic Future Forum, which is all about the transatlantic alliance and so on with respect to defence and security. Well, he is one of the authors of a new report from this organisation, the new Bletchley network, as they call themselves. So let's just look at the key people that are on this author's list for this report. This is report number 9 from this lot, and Lord Robertson, the former head of NATO, General Sir Richard Barrons, Nigel Hall, he established the new Bletchley network, former military officer, Lord David Richards, former Chief of the Defence Staff, I think, Richard Sheriff, and Mark Sedwill are the 5 names out of the group that I chose because they were the ones that jumped out at me. So let's just look at some of the text that they have produced as part of this report. So here we are. We'll start off with this. We must signal to adversaries and potential adversaries the fact that we are strong. That's Britain they're talking about, and want to get stronger, whilst at the same time having no interest in attacking or subverting any non-aggressive city or country. So I'm not quite sure what the definition of a non-aggressive city or country is. Let's go on with it. They want to deter and prevent war. We need a credible new model army. And they put new model army with capital N, M, and A. And this is the acronym is NMA in the rest of the report. So they want a credible new model army, an exemplar and widely respected, ready-to-go war, land force, and reserves. And I find it, Charles, fascinating that they are choosing to use that term. Of course, they are invoking, the Civil War at this point, and the new model army involved conscription. So are they perhaps hinting in that direction? I don't know. Any thoughts?
Well, I think very much hinting in that direction. I think it harks back to a time of incredible turmoil, and also there's this continual sort of recycling of old terminology with Bletchley and the new model army, which just is very discordant with the continual push for innovation and all things being new and futuristic. It does seem to jar with that as well. It's most strange.
Very strange. So let's go on with it then. They go on to say, to be credible in deterrence terms, we need to prepare genuinely for war and communicate this to potential foes, NATO and allies, and particularly to the British public. So they're very concerned that the propaganda continues. We need to consider streamlining and reconfiguring our Whitehall top security architecture and subordinate headquarters. We need war-ready, whole-of-nation, new command and control arrangements, and realign responsibility, accountability, authority, and budgetary chains. And they say the new model regular army and reserves must reconnect across our communities. They should become the go-to career choice for Generation Z and Alpha, based upon outstanding training, education, skills, opportunities, and exciting lived experience, never mind the death, destruction, and the rest that goes with it if we're preparing for a war. Delivering all this, turning around 30 years of decline and producing an exemplar NMA demands a concerted campaign. It probably requires an overarching COVID vaccine-style task force approach if it's to be delivered in time. Vanessa, let me welcome you to the programme and ask, what are your thoughts on that?
Well, for me, it's quite interesting. What pops out to me is exemplar, which is very reminiscent of Templar, of course. An odd usage of that terminology twice in 2 paragraphs. But maybe I'm just making too many connections, but it does seem quite interesting to me.
I don't really know. I mean, what are the Russians supposed to make of this? This just looks like insanity to me. But anyway, what